Hey everyone, it's Christine Mercer from Women in Backgammon, and thank you to Zizi, who's here to review the finals match for the intermediate division of our big doubles event this year. So Zizi, take it away.
Thank you, Christine. Congratulations, first of all, and welcome. So I went over this match and I found that I found like one thing, which was, first of all, a huge topic of this match and could be a big help to basically all intermediate players. Because what I always put the pressure on even in all our lessons is the power, right? The power of the position, realizing the right power. And in this match, in first 4 games, everything repeated, and all the reasons were that most of the moves, most of the mistakes which were made were basically not understanding the power in the right way. So what the power means, what everything means, is that power of the board is one thing, the potential and basically ways what are connected to it. So, for example, here, white had 3-1, right?
Wait, I forget. What color were we, Mary? I don't even remember.
Here you're blue here. You're blue.
Okay, thank you very much.
I knew we were dark. My board, we were black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure what color you are, but I've got my own colors here, new ones.
Okay, I'm there.
So what is important is to realize the potential, right, of both sides. So basically, when we are facing the 3-1 as white, which means we are going this way, we've got the nice board and we rolled something which doesn't do much, right? I mean, it doesn't do much. So let's just take what you basically played. The one question what I always ask is what you can expect from your opponent. So if any of you could tell me, what do you expect that after this move, what do you think blue will do? What will he do?
We're going to try to close out. We're going to try to start to build a board. Yeah.
Exactly.
But by moving
roll to 1.
But moving 23 to 22 also puts the pressure on blue that 16 can't sit there any longer.
We are not putting it on
okay, good.
We are just putting that. If we just put it on the 22, basically, blue has no problem playing with this checker, making a point with it, right? But it's a good point to kind of freeze the checker. So if we do this, we have to expect that blue will always make a point. That means blue will blue doesn't have anything, right? Blue needs to build something. And this is we just let him make the board. Let you make the board. Therefore, the right move is the hit. If I ask you what's going to happen now, what's the answer now?
I have to come in. We have to come in, and we might not. It's 50. It's 50.
And if we do come in, we may not make a point. Yeah. Odds are really good. We're not going to make a point.
Well, most of it. Well, yeah, you're just not going to make the point the next turn. So you are gaining the power, you are realizing your power, and you are playing with the power, and you are seeing the potential of your move. Potential sometimes even means that you just don't allow your opponent, you've got the power that you don't allow your opponent to build something. And this has been important in the whole match. So we can just...
Wait, if we stay on that point for a minute, Zizi, one of the things you've told me in the past that you've been coaching me is I feel if I were Richard and his team, they have the momentum. Exactly. And by hitting me, it keeps that train where they're in front of us. We're constantly trying to catch up. Yes. And one of the things Mary's so good at is when we have the momentum, she just didn't let up, not once. So I like the image for me that you gave me months ago is, Chris, keep the momentum, keep being in front of the other team.
Exactly. As long as it's got a reason, as long as it's got a potential, you just go for it. Especially when you've got nothing to lose, right? I also always ask, do you even care if you get hit? Not really. I mean, you come in, you just hit back, you do something else, then it doesn't succeed. But exactly, yeah. So this was basically the case of the next few mistakes where we just should not let you guys make some points. All right, so you made some points. And then just this happened. So you basically made the board. And now we are again as white facing 3-1. So we've got one huge choice, right? And that's where do we want to end Do we want to enter on the 3 or do we want to enter on the 1? And again, the right move lies in answering the questions, what's going to happen? So what do you think will happen if you enter on the ace? What do you think will happen if you enter on the 3? What's the reward? What's the gain?
If they enter on the 3, we're going to hit them.
We're gonna try.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, Mary's gonna demand that I roll the right numbers. Which
Or you're gonna hit them in the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
how
you miss.
powerful it will be? Will it be powerful? Will white mind? He minds getting hit, right? That's the thing. Because once he misses, he's in a bad shape suddenly.
Yeah.
So this is
All those
extremely important tool. Otherwise, if we enter on the ace, we've got a great game going on. We will not be like you. I mean, you've got the power now, right? We don't want to get hit. We want to move. We want to build something as well. We don't want to be on the bar. So again, basically the key lies in the power, in the potential of the position.
Richard, what were you thinking on that?
Well, I was probably thinking that being on the 22 would get me out more easily. Once I get past the 17 point, I'm home free there, and it's an indirect shot. It's you 7s and 9s. The 7s is 3 shots or 6 shots, and 9s are whatever. But it's less. It's fewer shots because it's indirect. I probably
No, but
counted the shots, but
Fives hit.
5s also come out the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're basically saying that you wanted to escape, right? You wanted to maximize your chances to escape, to just go out.
correct.
I'll actually say one thing, which is not counterintuitive, but once I say it, it will make sense. Sometimes it's better to stay back, and that actually maximizes your chances to escape. Why is that? It's because every time you go on the 23, you will just get hit with even here. So you've got basically bigger chance. You are more likely to succeed in escaping when you enter on the ace in this case, because you are in such a huge danger and you don't like getting hit here. Okay, so is this clear?
Plus it keeps blue from going behind me.
Yeah, kinda. But I mean, blue wouldn't really go behind you anyway.
But if I were on the 22, that could easily happen.
Well, no, not really. I mean, what does he go behind you with?
Well, a 4, for
Not
example.
really. He's playing just 8 to
Well,
4.
There's some shot. I can't tell you
No.
exactly what shot would go behind, but if
Oh, and nothing goes behind you now, but now it's not. I mean, now it's not even the case what's happening, right? I mean, that's just now what the game is about. We want to realize what game we are in and what's going to happen really. And what's going to really happen is that you're going to get hit here, or opponent will escape with a 6. There is no actual number which will go behind you that opponent will just miss everything. Okay,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. No, but if you okay, I'll give you a challenge. If you find a roll where opponent goes behind you, I'll be happy to hear it.
Well, I'd have to think about it for a little while.
Okay, good. So then there was interesting cube action. Now I want to ask you. This is definitely a nice cube, huge power. And Christine, how are you thinking about the take or pass here?
What's your question?
Why we drop when it should have been a take? I don't know.
Mary made me.
Well, it didn't make sense to me.
Good answer. Good answer.
We're way down, and
I said he's not going to be happy with us, Mary. I think what was the score at that point?
It was 0.
It was what?
This is the first game.
0. We hadn't scored yet. Nobody.
You know what? I think we just didn't like our position.
We just didn't like it.
I think we just wanted to start again. And it was 0-0. And by the way, don't think we didn't remember that the last review you did with us, you said to us, I don't want you looking at the score when you take or not take. Don't think we did discuss it. I want you to know. I said, Zizi said that, and she said, I know, and we said drop. I don't know.
I don't blame you here. I don't blame you. I mean, it's difficult to create excuses at 0-0 score, right? There's not much of a point. But no. So I mean, I don't blame you for dropping this actually. But realistically, what's happening here? You want to see again the potential, and I don't blame you because this is a scary position and you are kind of stuck with no way out, but you always want to see the potential. One good thing to realize, this is kind of a holding game, right? Even though you've got a deep point, there are not too many gammons to be lost. Therefore, you can only focus on your potential of how can things go right. So you want to realize, mathematically, you want to realize your equity, which means you can always win from the 2 point. I mean, you've got so many chances to throw double sixes, double fives. You can just make this 18 point, and this is just it. You've got just so many ways how to win. You've got small chance to lose the gammon. So this is how you want to see the position. Everything is because the race is close. The race is a very valid point in these situations. You know, sometimes I just say that race is always relevant in a way, but in a holding game, it's extremely relevant because.
Wait, can I ask a question here? I'll tell you, I remember now when this hit us. We did not expect this double, and I don't think we knew how to. Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, but he doubled. The pip count was almost equal. We were shocked by the double. And I remember saying to Mary, wait, Mary, we have to count to 6 before we even think about it, because we were so shocked. We were like, you know how and this is so good for intermediates, because someone gives you a double you don't expect, and your immediate response is to act on it. You know, we don't sit back and analyze, which is what you taught me to try to do. And I think what happened was when we sat back, we did not know how to approach this double.
I figure we're going to get hit.
So hang on. So there is a first thing. Why didn't you expect the double? When you don't expect the double, that usually means you wouldn't double.
We would not have doubled.
Why did you drop? How there is no way that you don't expect the double, that you think it's a no double, and then you pass.
I don't. Well, you're right.
We're scared. We were scared.
I
take it all back. I don't know why.
This is okay. When you're saying it's a no double, then
Richard, why did you double there? Was the double the right thing to do?
You got it. Yeah, it was right.
It was a double.
But shouldn't he have doubled? Should he have doubled, Zizi?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it from the beginning, okay? Because I was just thinking that the take or pass was the case here, but so how do we think about the cube? Let's analyze that from the first thing. What are the conditions in order to cube? What do I always say?
All right, we can eviscerate the opponent with our roll. If we have the potential to bury and totally annihilate and kill our opponent with the next roll, then we double. And also, if the pip count is 15 or more, you say, but I use 20. 15
in holding it, yeah. Okay, good.
If the pip count is 20 or more, and sort of, you know, you're not in trouble, you're not on the run or anything, then that's another time to approach it. But Richard, why did you double us here?
Well,
I think that I'm not exactly sure that how much we thought about it, to be honest with you. I don't remember our discussion, but I had a good chance of hitting on the 7 point there, and we escaped from your home board, so it was clear sailing. And if we could keep you, you know, off balance long enough, then we could make another point and keep you, you know. It just seemed like, and it also seemed to me like you might feel vulnerable at this point with 2 men back, even though they are on the 2 point, and the possibility of the hit. So I think a combination of those things said, well, and as I say, I don't know that we really discussed it all that much. It was more like, you want to double? Okay, sure. But that was probably my thinking.
Yeah, so this is basically good thinking. So there are two approaches. One, as you mentioned, about annihilating your opponent, right? Which is definitely the case because of the 7-point. There are just so many things what good can happen for white, right? What it's just going to be a pass next throw. So that's one annihilating thing, losing the market loser, the potential of losing that market loss, losing the opportunity to cube, that it's going to be a pass next throw. That's one approach. Then you mentioned what I say about holding games, that you need to be 15 pips ahead. Now, I have to be strict because when I use 15 in holding games, I mean 15. I don't mean 20, okay? So it's 15 when it's a normal holding game on a 4-point or a 5-point, right? Well, now we need to adjust because this is not really normal holding game, yeah? We don't want to count anything. It's just about a feeling. So if it's 15 with anchor on the 4-point or 5-point in the normal positions, 2-point, is it really better for us or is it worse for us as blue?
Better.
Well, as blue, we are less likely to escape. We've got less contact. Just worse things can happen, right? So now, of course, it's better to be this kind of, have an even race. So there are just more opportunities. Once the race is even, this is just a double take. So double because you can annihilate your opponent and therefore lose the market loss is clear. So any questions to this one specifically?
Yeah, Zizi, I don't know what our PR count was during this match or theirs. What was it?
It was bad.
We were 12-18.
What?
12 versus 18.
Yeah,
we did not show our best side.
Yeah, there were some repetitive combination of the ideas what were happening. So yeah, this is so this 6-4 just as a quick tip. I don't want to really spend too much time on it because this is not too interesting. But once you got 4 checkers on the 8-point, it's like you've got extra builder what you can use all the time again to regain the power, right? To gain something. So making the 2-point is usually the right choice because of the reason. Because right now you got 2 checkers back. If you escape with 1, when your opponent's got kind of nice, again, he's got nice power, So if you had 1 checker back, it's huge to escape, right? That would be a huge improvement to escape your last checker. Once you got 2, are you even happy when you don't get hit? You do this. You do this and you don't get hit. Are you happy?
Not really. We didn't do it. We didn't gain anything.
We didn't do anything.
Exactly. So you just made a move what didn't gain anything, but risked. Everything is a strong word, but risked a lot, right? You get hit and you're just not gaining anything. So yeah. So you escape. You've got 1 checker back and now opponent's got the power. So it's important to attack. It's important to keep the anchor and just go for it. When you leave the anchor, it usually means losing the power because you are making yourself vulnerable, right? And this is kind of exactly the case. Once we escape the anchor, my usual question, what's going to happen? Well, you're probably going to make a point and hit somehow. That's going to happen so many times. And it's really difficult to build something. Once we do this, we focus on the attacking structure. We focus on the attack, on the building points, on keeping this checker here. This is how we want to win the game. Is this good, or what were your thoughts on this so I can maybe help that?
Again, I think probably is we could come out and not have it's not like a 5-2 where we would come out to the 14 and be vulnerable, but we could get out cleanly. And I think that was probably the thinking.
I see. So it's extremely important to realize the value of the anchor, that when you leave it, sure, you are not leaving the blot on the 14, but the thing is, it seems like you just don't care about anything, but there's 2-1, 4-1, 5-2, 5-4, 4-2, double 2, double 1, double 4s, so many things if we just say them out loud, that will actually hurt you a lot, right? While the same thing as I said before about this position, what did you gain? You escaped, but did your position improve?
Probably not significantly. We're
Exactly.
stacked up on the 13.
Exactly. So what we want to do we want to always accomplish something with the move. And when you feel like nothing changed with the move, especially when you are losing the anchor.
Wait, Zizi, what did he do?
That's what he did.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
He ran.
Instead of just, can you feel the power and accomplishment when you do display now, when you can see this as a comparison? That now this achieves something, this gives you power, this gives you opportunities to make the 7, 4, and whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely see it now.
Good.
Richard, I think a lot of us intermediate players are always concerned about getting hit. And one of the things that I think you're saying also, Zizi, is who cares if you get hit? Like, we have to stop caring if we get hit early in a game.
Well, I was watching some of the matches at the US Open, watching them online, especially like the finals in the open division and some of the jackpot matches. And I saw that, and these are the top players. In the beginning of the game, certainly, it's hit, come in, hit. It's like a jockeying for position. So hitting a lot, I became more comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a point where you're coming back in becomes less.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I know what you're saying.
Face more danger coming back in. There's a big difference between a 3-point board and a 4-point board as far as coming back in, especially if you have other open checkers, which can get hit. And now you've got 2 on the bar, best by far.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I mean, I don't know what you're saying. So at the beginning, yes, we are basically fighting for the advantage because as in all positions mentioned, you are not risking too much. Like if you get hit at the beginning, it doesn't hurt you. What's important is the reward, the potential of making the points, right? Because again, everything is about the power. Everything is about the potential. That's why you can see in the US Open with good players that they just hit. They are trying to fight for the good points. They don't care about being hit. They just make the anchor. The position is the same. But you want to be making points and points because, yes, this is a huge advantage to have. Yes. Right. This was okay. Except the annihilation. All right. I'm sure I will get the right play now. So how do you play 4-1, Christine, now? Because after what we said in the previous game, or Mary, you can discuss now together.
We shouldn't have come in on the 21. We were vulnerable. I can't even say it. We were in trouble if we got hit.
It's basically the same case like we had in the previous game from the other side, right? From Richard, where basically on the 4-point, it's okay. You kind of want to escape, even though you're behind the race, you still want to escape. But the thing is, on the 4-point, you make yourself so much vulnerable and you are risking so much. While if you just enter on the 24, you know you will have a chance once. You will never get attacked there. And you will just have so many chances to roll 6 with something to escape. And now what matters is that you also kind of want to irritate the opponent. Maybe you get a shot somehow, because that's an important fact here. Yeah. Now it really matters. And let's actually compare this, because I know that Richard were mentioning the point like coming behind, where before there was not situation like that because it was just different. So let's mention it because here it will be important. In this position, we basically got blue basically stuck there, right? We don't even need to hit him. If blue, even if in the future he would come behind, we would not care here because we've got already everything we have to win in order to win. Although in this position, we are kind of in a bad spot as blue, right? It would really, really help ourselves if we can manage to hit white somehow. So this is kind of a hidden gain also, that we are coming back to the 24. If we roll 6-5, it's awesome. We are kind of untouchable there, so we can escape then if the race plays well. Or we can hit the shot, which would be a huge gain, right? And now we can see the potential. So again, just to summarize everything we talked about in the past 25 minutes, power and the potential and seeing what can happen is just the key to every single position we've had. Okay, so any questions so far until now? Because this has been basically repeating, even though positions look different, this was the topic of each position.
Easy, can you go, like, I know that he doubled like right after or soon after this. Can we review every double? Because we had trouble, we could not decide on most of our doubles. Is that fair to say, Mary?
Yep, that's fair.
Okay, so here was actually missed cue because, by the way, again, so this can be like two approaches, right? One, white is on the roll, so he can definitely annihilate you, right? There are just so many market losers which are super powerful. Like game can be finished in one roll, so this has to be queued.
We have to take, right?
Yeah, this would be difficult to take. It's like a borderline, so this doesn't really has too much to talk about because I mean just a combination of being the super dangerous and as well as you've got chance in the race. So
Wait, you think it's dangerous for him or for us?
For us.
for you.
If we'd have come in on the one,
But we've
we'd
got a
have had
6-point
double.
prime. If he can't hit and cover, he's not going to hit us.
How is he not covering? How is he hitting you and not covering?
Well, if by chance he doesn't, if
5.
Where's that chance? That's really important because this is
5-3, 5-3.
5-3, he's not hitting. He's just playing 8-5-6-1, preparing himself. This is the most important thing. We often misunderstand the position of what's happening, right?
Okay.
So I don't want you to be saying yourself that you will get a shot because you're not gonna get a shot. And that's the most important thing to realize. That would be the biggest, basically, thinking mistake. What would happen here? That we would say, we're gonna get shot with so many numbers, but we are not. If he rolls 5-3, he's just preparing himself to hit you safely next turn.
If we'd have put it on the 1 instead of the 4, would he have a double?
You
We'd have played it correctly instead of coming in there.
It would be probably, but yeah, it would be a double. Yes, it would be a double, but it would be a big take. It would be a big.
But
take.
it's a better take, yeah, for us.
Yeah, it would be a big take. It would be a double because he can annihilate you, right? Any double, 6, 5, 4-2, 5-2, everything would just work super great. And not too many bad things could happen. So again, so many market losers would have been there. Yeah, so basically then it happened and then I think this you had just easy pass, so I don't think this is what you meant.
Mary,
Bad. We played that right.
Mary, well, so we were right to pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was too good to double.
Yeah.
So
I got you. You shouldn't have done.
Let's go over the cube when you asked about the cube then. So here you were on the roll, you were blue. Did you even stop and think about the cube, or did you even realize that you can annihilate the opponent?
Yeah.
I
don't
did.
think we did. We were just happy to come in.
By the way, we did think about the cube, and I got to tell you, I think this was where. What's the score now at this point?
We're down.
We're down what?
2-0.
Okay, it's not, maybe it's beginning to, at some point, the score started to change our behavior and we kept trying to get on track to ignore the score. But we also felt like it was changing your behavior, Richard. Like when you were up, was it 5-1 or something? I don't remember, but I think you were shocked that we were catching up. Do you know what I mean?
Certainly not pleased.
Well, that's a polite way. No, but I think it was like all of a sudden, you're on a roll, you're playing great, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden we're starting to inch up and we saw you make some decisions we felt you didn't make at the beginning. At this point in time, I think we were just being conservative. We didn't want to be down 3-0. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
We're not
as
supposed to do that.
mentioned,
I
as
know.
mentioned, this is just, we have to just put all these things behind.
know,
We don't
I
care
know.
about history.
Yeah.
We don't care about what was happening or that we are scared of losing. We can be losing, we can lose 7-0, but and if we lose 7-0, 7-6, doesn't matter, right? What you have to do is the opposite. I mean, you need to change something. You need to pick the volatile. You are more likely to cube when you are trailing. I mean, we know that.
You know, Zizi, when you were playing in was it the World Cup and you didn't get the dice were horrendous. What was it? The finals, 2 finals ago, I think.
Standard.
Yeah, he was playing in the World Cup for, I think it was World Championship, wasn't it, last fall? And I remember, and you lost, but you had no dice. And I remember you saying to me, I played really well. I am not upset because I couldn't play better than I played. I think you had a 2-point or something.
No, I would not say this about World Championship because I didn't play so well there. So
No,
I'm
no,
not sure.
not that. I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the one where it was you were down and you made this great comeback, but it was just too much with the dice was not working for you. But anyway, I remember you saying, look, I didn't look at that. I just tried to play my best game, which is what you're telling us to do.
Oh, this is more that sound like me. I don't think I said I played well. I don't usually say that. So
Yeah. I said you played well. I mean, your numbers said you played well. So yeah.
I say that I try to play the best, but I don't say that I play well. But yeah, okay. But okay, back to the position. So this is like you can annihilate your opponent easily. I mean, you already annihilated him, right?
Yeah,
You
he's
can-
got 3 men. back.
Any one
Okay.
is awesome. Any double 2, double 3. So you got so many good things what can happen to you. What's bad thing what can happen? Now I want to immediately, I give you 5 seconds to tell me what's the bad thing what can happen.
Double
Except-
sixes, that's it.
Except double 6.
Everything else plays, I think.
Nothing, right? So in all the cases, you've got a great position. In even better ones, you just annihilate your opponent. This has to be the cue. This is how we want to see the game. We don't care about anything else. If we should look at-
I don't ever consider doing the cube when I'm on the bar. Do you, Mary?
But they have to have more blocks for me.
So, but this is something what
I
should
agree.
be in our minds, right? Because why should that be a factor that we are in the bar when we know that we are going to enter? I know that people say that like we are often not thinking about the cues when we are in the bar, but why? It's the same position. It's a backgammon position where you're just going to enter anyway. I mean, you know you're going to enter. It's, by the way, it's better almost to be on the bar and having a shot than be in the play. So that's like, so you know what I'm trying to say. So just look at the position, look at the same idea what we do. We always think in this way. What's the bad thing what can happen? What's the good thing what can happen? That's all we need. Yeah. Let's just go to the cube then when I don't mention that. Okay, Christine, here we've got the formula we talked about. So how do we think about the raise here? This is just the raise basically with some contact, some wastage for opponent. So this we should know 100% as well. So what do we do here?
Even though the pip count is pretty equal, in fact, we're down 2. I love this.
What it means that we are up 6. Is it a lot in this case? What matters? We've got a formula.
Also,
What matters is the board situation for rolling off.
crossovers, they got more crossovers. Don't they?
So, okay, well, the formula for the raise, what we talked about is usually 10% minus 3, if you remember. And that's all.
Could you repeat that or explain it? Because
yeah.
that's something you told them, but I haven't looked at the previous analyses.
Sure. So there's a simple formula for the raise, right? Which works in a way that you just put 10% of your pip count minus 3. So which is 9.3, that's 6.3. So you should be up at least 6.3. Therefore, you should be up at least 7 pips in order for this to be cubed. Now you're going to ask me, oh, hang on, it's 6. Oh, yes, it's 6. But now you have to adjust to the wastage you see. There are just so many crossover, which is super bad that your opponent is here, for your opponent that he's here, as well as this, he's got dead checkers, which means that has to make that difference. So this is the fundamental details, how you want to put them in practice. You know the theory, and now you just put it into practice, and that's it. And these are the things you don't even need to think about. We've got basically step one, realizing the formula, which is not even formula, it's just looking at the number, right? Second step, analyzing who's got the wastage, who will take more time to go at home, and so on and so on. That's it. And then evaluate these. We've got 3D steps and nothing else, and we can never make a mistake here. Is this clear as well? This is, I think for the intermediate players, this should be very good because they could just step, step, step. And it's a flexible thinking. It's not like, in a way it's robotic, but in a way it's flexible as well, right? It shows the perfect understanding of where you're at. Okay. So yes.
I'll have to think about it.
Yep. Yeah. So then there were just so many, yeah. So you were concerned or you were scared to queue?
Us, are you talking to?
No, it's why.
Yeah,
I guess you were.
let's see, we have 9, they have 8, so it's one more roll, but they have more on their upper points and we have more on the lower points. I'm not sure that we considered it at that point.
So
We probably should
10
have, but
pips,
I don't think
right?
I don't think we did.
You're 10 pips up in a super short race. So again, you want to, for everybody, you always want to realize where you're at, right? So you want to have a clue what kind of situation you're in. So here, I understand it, you've got 6 checkers off, opponent 7, but you see that you are 10 pips ahead, right? In a very, very short race. So let's just talk about rolls. How many numbers you got off? You take 2 checkers off, then you miss 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 5 checkers to go off, right? Opponent will miss 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, so many times. So opponent will have at least 5, probably 6 rolls, right? So that's the pip count all about, basically. You will never miss. Every double, which will just take some checkers off, will win you the game, while opponent is in big trouble. So pip count is a very, very good thing to consider in these races. Regarding
we wondered why he wasn't doubling us, by the way, we couldn't figure it out. But if he had doubled us, if they had doubled us, should we have taken it?
Well, now it's a borderline again, so it's like there's no right answer here. It's just on the borderline here, so there's not much that I could explain arguments, because arguments will just go against. So yeah, well, so okay, it's 0-0, you should just pass, right? Argument why you should be more likely to take these situations, even though you are in a very bad spot, is the score. And that's connected to another thing we talked about a few times, and that's when your opponent is 5 away, right? What can you tell me about 5 away? What do you remember? Or what did we understand? When your opponent is 5 away, we don't want to get him to 4 away, right? So we are more likely to take.
So I was waiting for him to double, but I was thinking about whether we were going to take or not, and I thought I would take.
It will be okay in this position. It doesn't matter whether you take or pass. But yeah, fundamental things, what will help you to make a decision here is, of course, to realize what you're in. But then, yes, you are trailing and your opponent is 5 away. So you are way more likely to take. You are more likely to take a little bit deeper based on many things. But again, these all the topics can be talks for like 30 minutes, 1 hour, just to talk about and explain specifically why is that and what all the factors play a role, right? Generally, looking at it in a simple way, you really want to look at the pip count and just get the feeling of how many rolls versus how many rolls in such a short race will it be? So white's got definitely 1, 2, 3, 4. White's got definitely 5 rolls. I mean, almost for sure. Blue, well, he's gonna miss really like 3 times, so he will have at least 5 rolls. Yeah. So that's it.
Can you go back to where he doubled us?
Then it was just nothing.
Okay,
It
so
was-
Richard, why didn't you double the time before?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't remember. I think is likely as not, we just were sort of, you know, rolling and taking off and rolling and
Yeah.
taking off and not stopping to think about whether or not it was a double.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know,
so
you get into a forward momentum and it's hard to slow yourself down.
Yeah, I know what you mean with the momentum, but this is why we always want to realize what situation we are in, because what's the important point of the change in a play, like when you are playing, when you are starting to play, learning about the game, and what's the point where you switch to a player who understands the game, is always realizing where you're at. You always realize the cube is in the middle at the beginning, and then you always want to know what kind of shape you're in, because you always want to be aware of the situation. So that's, I understand the momentum, but we want to be in a different momentum where you always understand the position you're at, that your favorite, that now you just want to cash the point.
A good friend of mine, we play often, and he said, slow down, you move too fast.
Mhm.
And I think that was probably what was happening there. We just couldn't stop ourselves long enough to think about what the best action was.
You got to make the morning last, right?
Exactly. I should have that on a loop on my earbuds.
So then we've got this position where you're down 3-0 and you cubed. So what can you tell, how would you describe both sides here? What would you tell me
We
about this?
actually did not agree on this. Do you remember, Mary?
No, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I wanted to take it.
Well,
We
no,
doubled.
you doubled.
No, oh, then I'm on the wrong one. Wait, so, oh, I don't remember this. Do you?
No, but I could see me wanting to double just because they got a blot and we can get
Let's-
home, but it's kind of iffy, isn't it?
Let's talk about it from the beginning. Let's be in the momentum. Let's be in the game, right? So, Christine, what kind of position you are in as blue? What's happening? How do you think about the cube? How do you think about the cube here?
Oh, now I'm seeing exactly where we are. I think I was uncomfortable because I didn't see us annihilating anything in the next roll. I didn't like, I mean, the pip count was in our favor, but I had a little trouble with getting home, you know? So I didn't like it. But now, after even just the beginning of your lesson today, I would have been much more comfortable giving it. I mean, I think she was right.
Hang on. So you just mentioned that you don't see the way how you can annihilate your opponent. So why would it change? How can you annihilate your opponent?
Well, I shouldn't worry about getting hit.
Well, he's got a block.
I was worrying about getting, you know, in other words,
That's different. We need to always focus on the right question, right? How can you annihilate the opponent is the only question what matters as the first step. So let's only do that. How can you annihilate him?
we can't, I don't think.
You can, right? I mean, even if you do like double fives, sure, you annihilate him a little, but you can. That's why we don't need to go any further steps. It's just not a cube.
If we feel like they're going to drop though,
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. We thought they would, wait, that was it, Mary, tell the
I
truth.
know, and they did
Yeah,
drop and so everything's good.
We thought, hey, they're way ahead.
Yeah.
They could lose this. They're not gonna wanna worry about losing 2 points, which brings us right up to them. We think they won't take it. And then I think we cheered when you guys didn't, Richard. Yeah, Richard, more importantly, I guess, is what were you thinking?
I think we were probably thinking, you know, we got 3 back, and you've got a lot of, you can start making a lot of points there, that keep us, from escaping even with the joker rolls. And we were up 3, so losing 1 didn't really set us back, whereas losing 2 would have.
Mary,
Not back,
you're
but
right. Yeah, Mary, you were right. Your strategy was right. You thought he was thinking exactly that.
But that doesn't make it right.
Yeah, so about the take, so the thing is, first of all, score doesn't matter. Even if you were up 5-0, basically, this is a gammon last position. This is a holding game. So in a holding game, when gammons don't matter, the cube action should be very, very similar to all other scores. That's why we wouldn't have to worry about basically much else. We adjust a little, but not really. So this is first fundamental thing why I wouldn't put score. This is what I just would forget about the score from 90% of the time. Therefore, this is just a holding game where 5-point anchor, we need to be ahead 15 pips to cube, which we are, but because of the bot on the 1, you mentioned 3 checkers back, and I know that you probably hear from people, yeah, 3 checkers back, that's terrible sometimes, right? Well, that 3rd checker in the back is actually a great asset for you. Now is the point where it matters that opponent cannot go behind you. This is the position we talked about in the first match. This is probably what you meant, because maybe you heard, now you can correct me if it's true or not, but maybe you heard somewhere that it's good or bad that opponent can play behind you, right? Maybe that's why you mentioned it as an argument. This would be that argument. This checker is a huge asset now, and this will catch you so many blows. You will cause your opponent so much trouble just that you've got a checker here and that you've got the
And
anchor.
it's not dangerous, because even if we do hit you, you're going to be able to come in, and you're coming in on the 5 spot. So
well, you probably wouldn't hit unless it were,
A point.
I mean, I don't know if you would hit loose.
6-5, yeah.
well, it
Unless you
depends.
had
I
to.
don't like you being there. We talked about this last time. I love leaving something back on the 1 point, and I don't like you being there because I have no safety valve to slough stuff off. So,
Right.
yeah, so I don't mind hitting you there. If
And
I
it's not like you can't come in. I don't have any more points,
yeah.
on, you know, than you do.
Yeah, so put it on the right track. How we don't want to look at, we don't want to describe the position. We don't want to say 3 checkers back, down 30 pips in the race. We don't want to do this because it doesn't say anything about the potential of the position. We want to think in future about what things really mean, which means it's a holding game. This is an asset, because when you say 3 checkers back, it seems like liability, but this is a huge asset which will just bring you the game, right? So yeah, so that's why it's a no double take, basically. You mentioned that you want to go through the cube. This was not much to talk about. All right, here it seems like there was a lot to do. So white is on the roll. All right. So first step, what's always the first step what we want to ask before we cube, or whether we should cube or not? What's the first step and what's the end?
Can we annihilate our opponent in the next move?
Can white annihilate the opponent before the double one? How?
Yes.
Just tell me the rolls. Just shoot it.
A, we can hit you, and 2 will most likely cover our 22.
Exactly. So that as white, yeah, hit.
White wasn't good for us.
Yes. White is on the roll. If white rolls a 3, it's just gonna be enormous game for him. If he doesn't roll a 3, it's still awesome. So this just has to be the cube because of this reason. Easy annihilation, and it cannot go bad. It cannot go the wrong direction. Therefore, it's also a pass, because now the score actually kind of matters as well, because it's just extremely dangerous to take this at 4 away. So super powerful, and yeah, this was the cube. So annihilation is the one and one and only thing what we want to start with the cube. That's, I will not care about anything else until we get this sorted always, okay? So,
Are
how
you
about
kidding?
this
That's
one?
what's making me love the game. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So how about this one? You are, blue is on the roll. Can you annihilate the opponent? Now the score matters actually, but position itself, what's happening? Can you do that? Tell me how.
Hit with the 3, hit with the 5. Would be
With the
good.
3, I agree. With the 5 would be that, but any 3, double 6, right? I mean, double 4 maybe, whatever. We've got the power because of the score also. Now it really plays a role. We just have to cube. Okay, we gotta cube this, especially at the score. Just send the cube. Otherwise, it would be like borderline. You know. Now I don't understand why you didn't cube, but okay.
Why? Do you remember why?
Oh, I don't remember.
Why not this one? Why not this one?
Should've.
Yeah, this is maybe you just forgot.
I know why. No, wait, we did talk about it. We didn't want to get him close to closing out the match.
But again, that's the opposite what you should be
Right,
doing.
you're right.
Right? I
Wait,
mean,
I'm just saying that's what we were talking about.
sure, sure.
We tried to overcome our anxiety about the score. We tried.
Yeah.
But we tried to play boldly, even though we saw how down we were. We tried, ZZ, but I think overall we did okay on that portion, right? Mary, didn't you feel that way?
I think so, yes. This isn't even my game.
But so I really want to establish this thing because I know we talked about it, and even in the matches before, when you are down, yes, you are about to lose the match, but you cannot be afraid about losing the match. You have to be excited and turn it around. You have to double more, not the opposite. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I think this was the trickiest and the biggest moment then in the cube match at the score, where you got cubed here and then you never recube to 4. Basically, if we think about it, let's just take this position. You own the cube on 2. Okay, you own the cube on 2 and you are down 3-4. Let's just say it in as simple way as we can, right? If we lose this game, it's 3-6 anyway. Okay, so we're just gonna lose then, maybe. But if we just play for 2 points, it will be just 5-4. Okay, we may as well flip a coin afterwards. But so what it means, it's just a small risk, because if it's 6-3, if you are losing 3-6, you're about to lose the match anyway. If you are winning 5-4, you still got a long way to go. So you just have to recube with the first chance you've got. Okay. And again, we can talk about all the fundamental things about take points, everything. But first, we can talk about all of that. But first, we want to understand the biggest main point, what's behind it. And that's the power of the recube. You need to put this on the line. When you are down, when you are losing, you need to do that. Always. When you've got a shot. Is this clear now, or how would you put it in your own words? Anything or any question regarding this? Why? What's not clear? What would not be clear here?
I agree.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I totally get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. This is again, being in the momentum, being in the match. This is the most important thing. This is how we want to think about the cube, how we want to think about it, because all these things were actually
Can you
drops.
back up? Can you back up one to where again? Yeah. Okay, but Richard, that's again where we knew we were going to leave that guy on 24. We weren't taking him anywhere because we didn't want you to have the ability to not cut. You see what I mean?
We were hitting. Didn't we hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cube, really the biggest thing, because as you can see, I mean, that's just 5 mistakes and it's huge. That it counts like on the correct side because it's a big deal. It's a big deal not to cube. Yeah. All these things, and yeah. Now it's just two-way. But anyway, I mean, this would even answer the question. You can easily annihilate the opponent, right? Especially because of the score. Of course, 0-0 not, but so this is something what you always want to have in mind. Now the score matters also a lot. So all the things to absorb before every match. If I don't know when you play next time, or maybe you just won the finals actually, but if you play a match next time, what is important? Think about the score at the beginning of each game and be in that momentum. Realize that what momentum you're in, that you want to be either aggressive with the cube, that you are leading, so you don't really want to give, I don't know, super volatile positions, depends what the score is. Always try to feel the score first, and then we can play with it. Okay. This was, I think, almost everything about the cube.
Hey,
Yeah.
can you go down to our double?
He did. That one. We missed
Oh.
one though.
No, the double where we took him to 4 at the end.
Yeah.
He should have passed. We waited too long.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
How
No, you doubled us.
I
Yeah.
know, that's what I'm saying. Was that right? Zizi, you're saying we should have done it earlier?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, how can you
Not
lose?
5 rows earlier.
But the reason we didn't do it earlier was because of the pip count, and we had 4 men out. And if they got a 5-6, we talked about it. It was like they could be gone and then it would be over.
Okay, but that's the thing. Who basically this is the huge misunderstanding, or people say that pip count is sometimes only thing what matters, or that they cannot figure out why they should double when the pip count is down. But pip count doesn't matter here. This will never be a race. You will not win this position because of the race. You don't want to win this game because of the race. Pip count doesn't matter. I mean, of course it matters, but you're not gonna win the game because you want to win the race. You're gonna win because opponent will leave the anchor and you're gonna just smash him. That's how you want to win. Here, you're also behind in the race, but you are also almost cannot lose, right? For example, I mean, I know this is absurd, but in this position, you are also down in the race, right? So wouldn't you cube this position?
Yes, I would.
And you cannot lose the game, right? And this is the important moment. This is basically, okay, I know that this is extreme position, but this is the best way how to explain it. The race just doesn't matter here. First of all, it's wastage, of course, and so on, but so was the position before. Okay, all what matters is the potential and realizing where we are at. Because how would you say, in your own words, what kind of position you are in? What kind of position are you in? Is it a good position? Are you afraid of something? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? Oh, I want to put the race. Here. What are you afraid of? What will happen?
I don't think there's a number. Is there a number at all that gives a shot?
No. Yeah. So blue will just move. White has to leave. And then it's just easy hitting, right? And race doesn't matter at all. Yeah. What matters is the score and everything. I mean, race would matter, okay? If it was 0-0, of course, white will take, and now it would be like a no double, for example, in this situation because of so many other things. But now race, of course, matters in a way that white would definitely take because of that. Now we can see it would be a small no cube because of some other things and so on and so on. But at that score, it's the most important thing to do, just to turn the game around. We don't want to not cube because we would be afraid to lose the match.
Okay.
So any questions to anything, or what's the biggest takeout what you did, or what you do better to the next match?
Analyze better.
What'd you say, Mary?
Analyze better. I think, figure out the cube better.
You know, I think, you know, I'm disappointed when you told us the PR score that we had, because we had done so much better earlier in our first two matches. But this was a much more complicated, it was, I mean, the roles were not as easy to figure out, and the doubling cube was very,
That's where we messed up.
yeah. So I don't think we should feel as badly, Mary, as I sort of did when he first told me.
Yeah.
Because
So, you know, last match I told you that you played very nicely with the cube, right? You followed basically all the instructions. You were not scared. You cubed in time.
you didn't say
This-
that this time, Zizi. You didn't say,
I didn't
you didn't
mention it
say
this time,
anything
right?
about
We
it.
were down and we got scared.
I didn't, yeah, because I think this match was again because you knew that. I mean, in deep down, you were starting to tell me the reasons like before, right? Before we mention it. So for the next time, I hope I will be able to say that. But even if you just followed it, just think of me during the backgammon game and just next time.
Oh, believe me, you not only were you in our heads, we were terrified about what you were going to say. Were we bold were we bold and brilliant, or were we just stupid but ridiculous? You know.
That's how it should be. Good.
Richard, I hope this was helpful for you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very good.
I'm going to have to go back over the recording of this to jot down some notes. And the other thing I'm going to do is when this sort of online thing goes on again, for the doubles, or maybe even with just one-on-one, I may record myself and my own thoughts so that when somebody says, "What were you thinking?" I can go back and say, well, okay, here's what I said, or here's what we said, why we made whatever the decision was. So that if somebody is able to come in and do this kind of analysis, my thinking can be best case redirected in the right direction.
Well, it was a pleasure playing with you, and
It
Mary.
was.
Mary, I had a blast.
I did
It
too.
was.
Thank you. Thank you, Zizi. It was very nice.
Congratulations. Very nicely done.
I'll
see,
just make
these-
this observation. Our first two matches, we won the first match, but played worse. And we lost the second match, but played better. So, you know, on any Sunday.
Yeah, welcome to backgammon.
Yeah. Or as I like to say,
thank you,
because that
everyone.
never happens in
Thank you.
backgammon.
I
Thank you.
really
Thank you very much.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Both
Zizi.
of you. Thank
See you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Richard. Bye,